This is part 4 of modeling the Army flashlight, and let's get straight to work by working on the switch. Alright, so it looks to me like the switch takes up about half of the distance of this region here. So let's just select, that'll be fine. Set the origin to geometry and cursor to selected. And let's bring in a cube. I'm going to scale this in the Y. Let's bring this up and just think about how this would go. Maybe I'll try to put them in there. I'm not sure about that. Well, that's the middle point there. So what if I went there? All right, we'll see. Okay, scale these in the X. This is going to make it really sort of simple. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I'm just going to do something. Now, to round these off, I think we'll just sort of haphazardly start throwing in some edge loops. And just bending this down, that kind of thing. Look from the side here, or from the front. Put on a subdivision surface after and we'll see how she goes. I think this end's rounded a bit more, so we'll do a bit more work on this end here. Push it down a bit more and throw in some more edge loops. Just simple stuff. And see how she looks. And can I grab that whole thing? No. Do let's push that down a little bit more and put one more in here. I suppose we could do one more in here. I'm not sure it's really necessary. But why not, since we're doing it anyhow? Let's see how she'll look if we throw an edge loop there and there. And throw a subdivision surface on there. We'll go with 2. And smoothing. Okay. Take that whole edge loop, pull it back. Yeah, that wasn't that nicely done. Take this one, we'll pull it in a bit. Yeah, that's going to be fine from the position that we're in. Now, do I have to push that whole edge down? Do I care that much? I don't think it's going to matter that much. Now, if that was there, so we're looking at this side, hey, what if I took this one, and without mirroring it, if I just brought it over here, how would that look? I might be able to get away with that. I'm going to leave it like that for now, and we'll see. I kind of want to bring this end up, though. I'm just thinking about it. If I was to even try, what am I thinking? Am I thinking like this is what I was thinking. Not sure that's how it goes, but I kind of feel like it is. So let's just go with that. Well, yeah. Let's go like that, select both of them, and cursor to select it, put the 3D cursor in there. Let's bring in, I'll just use a cube again. No, that's not what I want to do. All right, to make that central part, that looks like, where is it? And there's different styles, but to make this, which seems to extrude, like go a little bit past that. See, this one is less than the length of those, but if you look at some of the other ones, well, this one's almost even, and then in this one, it's further. So I don't know what to make of this. I'm just going to make something rounded there. So I'm going to bring in a circle, and we'll make it, say, 12 vertices. Rotate Y 90, and we'll scale it down so it fits. Maybe we'll squash this in the Z a bit. And let's look straight on vertex. And then I was thinking let's get rid of these. Take this, Shift D, rotate X 180, and pull it down here. We can lengthen this later. And let's join these faces F. Vertices F, and then we'll just join vertices like that. We'll do that kind of thing. Let's take this all out so I can actually see it. Okay, and now I'm going to join the edges. It is hard to see, isn't it? That one and that one. Those two. Those two. Those. Those. And those. Cool. Okay, so there we go. All right, I'll bring it back in a little bit. Okay, let's just scale the whole thing. Well, scale this in the Z too. Change the curvature a bit. Okay, let's give it some thickness, and then we'll think about how thick it needs to be. I think it comes up about 3/4 of the way. Could get rid of the backside if I wanted to. All right. Let's see what pictures we have of this. This one, yeah, kind of 3/4, half to 3/4 of the distance, and that one looks like less, and that one looks like less too. So we're just going to do whatever we feel like doing then. Okay, that's going to be fine there. Let's do this. Let's put an edge loop here. And take this face here, Shift Alt and click that, E, and we'll scale this in the Y a little bit. We'll scale it in the Z a little bit, make a little bit of a lip type thing. Okay, and let's throw in a few edge loops just for good measure. Yeah, like that. And maybe we'll straighten these out. Scale Z 0. I'm not sure. Scale Z 0. Maybe I'll do another one here to bring it up there. Another one down there. And we'll start. We'll need another edge loop here. And we'll start with a subdivision surface of 2. And smoothing. Maybe I'll make this a bit sharper. Just like that. Not too much. So we have this kind of effect. And maybe I will scale this in the Z a little bit smaller, but I'll bring it up to there. So it's sitting in there. And I feel like it's a little short. Let's scale this in the accent object mode like that. Okay, let's select that, set origin of geometry and cursor to selected. And we'll come up with the next part of this, which is going to be a rectangle that's going to go most of the length. We're going to have some screws there as well, just on another model again. So again, you know, there's different styles of these things, but I'm basically going to do a single rectangle with a hole for the button, and then that thing, deal with screws later. And I may even want to put down some mock screws right now, and I think I will do that. So rotate Y 90. fill that, E to extrude, flip the polys, and this won't be a real screw, so it doesn't have to look too good. Push that in there, let's say. And I'll do another one down here. That'll sort of set the bounds of where I want that other stuff to be. Let's try smoothing those. All right, so let's say those were there. I would then need, I'll use a plane. Say it was going to be like that, but maybe a little bit thinner. Let's make sure that it's touching down. I haven't been getting rid of backsides, have I? Okay, so let's do that. I got sidetracked for a while. I had to take care of some things in the day. It's now nighttime, and we're going to continue with modeling this thing. So I've got this rectangle here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, I'm going to put some edge loops so that I can make this little hole here. Or there's a little hole and then the button there. All right, so let's just start doing this. Start bringing some edge loops up and setting ourselves up. Let's try it around there. I'll scale these out in the Y. Give us some room. Let's do another one down the middle and another one right there. And decide if that's going to make a big enough hole. The way I think I'm going to do this is, I think I'm going to select that point, cursor to selected. Okay, and at that point, I think what I'll do actually is I'll take these faces and let's inset them just a bit to give us a bit more support. And I could try just using loop tools, make a circle, scaling it in. But before I do anything else, maybe I'll grab these outer ones and scale them in the Z like that. Oh, let's get rid of this thing sitting there. I don't know what that's doing there. And this one and this one. Scale those in the Y and make it look like a circle. And we'll just try deleting those faces. Okay, let's put a few more edge loops on this just to tighten it up for adding a subdivision surface. And I think my New Year's resolution will be to delete more back faces. All right, okay, let's add a subdivision surface here of 2 and see what we got going on here. Smooth that. All right, what have I done? And what have I not done? It's underneath there. Okay, so what I will do, if I can get into this thing properly, there we go, is we'll take this edge here and let's extrude it down. Actually, come down a little bit and it'll come down a bit more. Like that, and then we'll join it together. E and S. I'll just do it together like that. So we get that kind of effect. All right, and then we're going to put a button in there of some sort. So what can I do? I could grab these faces here, and I could use those. Shift-D, P to make them a new object. Take that, and let's bring it out. And we'll extrude backwards, flip the polys, add some edge loops here. I don't know if this is the best topology for a button like that. That's probably okay though. Where am I looking? 3. Okay. Let's just scale this globally. Like that. And we'll scale this in the X as well. Push it in like that. So I have a nice big button there. Maybe it needs to be a little bit bigger. Okay, so we have that. Let's see, maybe it's not centered. I don't know, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. For some reason I felt like it was off, but maybe it's just up a little bit high. I want to be able to depress that though. You know what? Well, it should be all right. Maybe it's just not long enough. All right, I can live with that. It's going to be just fine. Cool. All right, so now I'm going to make the switch itself. Just something really simple. So let's bring in another. Let's bring in a plane actually. Rotate Y90 and scale this in the Y. Maybe like that. And in the Z. Let's just see what the relationship is between that. Okay, not too big then. Something like that will be fine with me. Let's extrude it. And let's put 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 edge loops. Try 6. And let's see if I got those 2, 3. Just bring those up like that. And maybe these down. This is very simple. And then throw a couple of edge loops here. Yeah. And on the sides. It's probably going to be a bit tall. And let's scale this in the X. And subdivision surface. Okay. Let's come in here. And let's just see if I can just gently sharpen it up. Okay, I would be okay with that. Do something else though, maybe. Let's try inset and extrude a little bit. And just gentle sharpening. Is that enough, or I want them on the sides maybe? Yep, there and there. Just add a little bit more texture to that button. And what if we were to, let's see what I got to work with here. Okay. Maybe I'll just bring in another plane. Rotate Y90, of course, and in edit mode, scale way down to thinner than that. Bring it out so I can see. And I just want some thin like that, a little bit narrower. And you'll see what I'm doing. Some thickness, not much. And maybe this I would just bevel like that. We'll see if that does it for me. Or I could try throwing an actual bevel on it. See what there. I was thinking that these could go down the sides. So let's look from the front and set origin to geometry. And let's rotate this in the Y. And I'm going to switch over to normal. Try pushing that there and seeing if that looks half decent. And it may be a little bit odd to try and position these. Shift D, bring another one over, rotate in the Y a bit. Maybe we could try one more. From a distance, how would that look? I don't mind it. So let's take each of these and apply that bevel and group them, or join them. Control J, set the origin to geometry. I got my 3D cursor right there. Let me make sure. Yeah, let's try mirroring these. The eyedropper with respect to that thing. That could probably work. Let's go apply that. And this has a subdivision surface, but I'm going to apply it with those and join it and be done with it. Okay? So I got that going on. And now what I need to do is to make a screw. All right, so I'm going to go back to global here and set the origin to geometry, Shift S, cursor to selected. And I'm going to bring in a cube, scale it down. I'll push it down here though. Okay. And I'm going to apply a subdivision surface. I think 2 is what I want. Go into edit mode. I'm going to view it from the front. And yeah, I'm in edit mode. Let's move it down a bit more. Go like that. I'm going to put an edge loop right through the middle of it. And I'm going to box or border select. I'm going to delete the back, believe it or not. Oh, it wasn't a wireframe. How about that? There we go. I'm going to scale this in the X a little bit. Slide it up to about there. I can adjust the size of this and everything later. And now I'm going to I'll apply that subdivision surface. And let's see how she's looking. Do I have enough to do what I want to do? I think I need more. Let's try one more. I think that's what I want right there. And it's a lot of faces, but okay, where's my center? Actually, let's make sure I did this and Shift S, cursor selected. That's going to help me. There's my center. Okay, great. And grab these and come down to there and there, there, and there. Let's just have a look at that. Yeah, I think that's what I want. Right to the edge. Hit the eye, inset, just inset a little bit. E to extrude, push it in. And I'm going to scale this in the SX0 to flatten it out. And I'll go ahead and I'll put some edge loops. One down near the bottom, one near the top. And we'll hit smoothing. And that's probably all I want to do with that. Okay. From a distance, it's going to look fine. And I think I like the size of that as well. So I'm going to get rid of this one. And I'm going to just take it and I'm just going to copy it up. I'm going to rotate in the X this one. How's that look? Convincing enough? Is everything making contact? Is this making contact? Yeah, pretty much, eh? Although it is rounded, so I'm going to push it in a little bit more, and I'm going to scale this in the X. Let's go like that. I think that's probably good enough. Make sure those things make contact. So does that look okay, or do I need to thin these out? Where can I look? Doesn't look like I would need to thin them out from that point. And those ones are longer than the switch. And this one, they're longer than the switch. And here they are longer than the switch. What about their position up near that? Yeah, yeah. Okay. I think we're gonna be good with that. I hope. There's one more. Yeah, okay. I was just thinking, looking at the height of this thing. Gotta keep coming back to these things. Yeah, how that projects quite a bit, and here the button projects out, and the switch really projects out. So the switch is projecting out, although I think a little bit much. What about this button? Could it come out more? Yeah, I think I like that a little bit better. Cool. All right. Okay, we're getting close. The front is one, control one is the back. All right, to make this clip now, this clip here, all right, I'm going to start with a circle, and I'm going to start extruding back, and then we're going to bend it and stuff like that. But what I really want, well, yeah, I guess I'm going to start with that. So let's see. Let's go in here and maybe select that face as being relatively central. Bring cursor to selected, and we'll try it at that position. And I'm going to start with, like I said, I guess a circle with, I don't know, about 8. I think I need 12. I could be wrong. Let's rotate X 90. Essentially what I'm going to be doing is this. Well, I could delete them, or I could do it differently. Could do it like this. And then join. No, I don't like it like that. Never mind. Okay, so let's delete those vertices. And let's try taking this, Shift D, copying it, and scale Z 0. Is that what I want to do? I'm joining up the points, hitting F. Like that. And then taking the edges and hitting F. A little hard to see. Okay, and then we'll scale it down. Okay, so I'm trying to make this part of it. All right, but now I think I need, well, I'm going to widen it out now. I just want to see. So it goes sort of from one of these lines, and it goes sort of in between those two. And so, but as it goes in between, it's already starting to curve out. So at the very beginning point, it's about halfway in between. That's probably good enough for now. So what I could do is I could take this edge. You get the whole thing? Yeah, I got the whole thing. And we'll just scale this in the X like that. And I'm gonna be pulling it down. And it's going to go up to here. That's going to bend, but it's going to go up to about halfway or a third of the way up the head there. Oh, and I wanted to see how far down it starts. It starts at about the middle of the switch. That's the other thing I got to get going on. All right, so let's look again from the back. Let's pull it up to about halfway down the switch or so, and then let's grab this edge. Let's bring it up to about there, and we'll scale this out. All right. Okay. So let's look from the side now. Where's my side view? There it is. All right, so it's going to touch and it's going to bend out. And it's going to come up and it's going to bend down. So I need to do this bend out. So let's do this. Let's put an edge loop in here. Let's straighten that. Scale Z 0. And let's take the whole thing and pull it out. It's just about there. I can adjust all this later. Oops, adjust all this later. And let's take this. If I take that and I set Shift S, cursor to selected, and I set my 3D cursor there, I should be able to bend this away from there. Right? Because that's going to come out. Maybe it doesn't have to be quite that much. Oh, sorry, what are we doing? Rotating the X back a little bit. Now, can I also grab all of these? Nah, just to there, right? Not that. And not that. Just that. Well, I need to get all of those. Yeah, sorry, take it back. Much easier way. Wireframe, grab those. What was I thinking? Okay. And I'll go out of wireframe. And from the side, let's rotate this out. Rotate in the X. Like that. Now we're talking. Take the whole thing, push it back in till it almost contacts. Okay? And then we're going to need to, it's going to bend back there, and it's going to end and like with a flat one on there, but we're going to do a bit more work than that. Okay, so let's get out of that, go back to medium point. Let's extrude over like that. We'll pull it up like that. I believe it bends like that. Where? Right? Where? Which one was I looking at? There it is. Yeah, and then straight up along the along here. Like that. Okay. I don't mind that. Next, what I'm going to do is try to figure out where to put a hole. I want a hole right around here. And to do that, I'm going to bring in an edge loop about there, and there, and there. And that gives me the 4 faces that I need. I'm going to hit I to inset, bring it in a little bit, and I'll try loop tools again. Circle, bring it in, and I'm going to delete those faces. Okay, dokie, save. Now we need to give this some thickness. So what's the best way to do that? Let's just try scaling. Although let's try solidify, because then I can do a lot more work with this if it looks like it's doing it evenly, and it looks like it's doing a really nice job. It really does. And so my gut tells me to go with that. But how thick? That's the question. Thinner than that, like something like that. I'm pretty happy with that, I think. Yeah. And so I think I'm just going to apply that. And then I'm going to go ahead and do a subdivision surface. Well, maybe I'll think about edge loops first. Well, the edge loops that I would need would be on the sides, really, here. I'll try one here and here. And it should have gone on both sides. And then we'll see how she's looking with a subdivision surface of 2 and smoothing. Okay, so that being the case, we're going to come down here with an edge loop and here and see if that's nice enough. And we're going to come up here and here, not too tight. Okay, that looks decent. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend this using a lattice. I feel like I haven't looked at the camera for half an hour. Okay, so let's see, this is the back side, right? So you're just going to go Shift A, and I'm going to bring in a lattice and scale this in the Z to try and encompass the whole thing. And that, scale in the X a little bit, and scale it in the Y. It's probably good enough. I'm then going to come over to the lattice, and I'm going to put another segment right there. And then I'm going to select my main object, go to the modifiers, I'll close up this tab for subdivision surface, and add modifier lattice, and just under object I'm just going to choose lattice. And now I'm going to go into the lattice, and we're going to grab the outer points. And I'm just going to pull and see how nicely it shapes. Even just that. Perhaps a tiny bit more. Depending on the angle you're looking at it. And it may not be perfectly centered either. So I'm going to go a little bit more. I'm going to stop. I'm going to make sure my lattice is selected and my main object. I'm going to slide it over a bit. And we're going to have a look. And we're going to see if we can deform it a bit more. Okay, back into the lattice. Select those main points. I can also try grabbing these central points. Oh, got them all? Yeah, let's see if I can pull them out. It doesn't have to be incredibly tight. I might be fine with that. Maybe even moving it out a little bit. The two of them, like this. And then just, you know, taking my render from an angle that looks reasonable. I can still manipulate this a little bit. No, not that. All right, so give me a little bit of time to mess with this. I just want to see how Off center, that is. Yeah, it is a little, well, on the other hand, these may be off centered, and they can be rotated, by the way. So let's say I select this, and that's the center. That lines up. Like if I go Shift S, cursor to selected, and I could even move my 3D cursor down in the Z, you know, from the center position, and it's almost there. Like I could take this and this, and I could go over a tiny bit more. I can do that and say, okay, I'm happy with that. And then I say, but these things don't look that good. Although those are lined up pretty nicely. I don't think that's actually a problem. So I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apply the lattice. And I'm going to delete the lattice. And I'll just look at this and make some final decisions about it. I think I'm going to do that. And I think I'm going to take this screw, Shift D, bring it out. Let's rotate Z90. Oh, jeez. And bring it up. Period key to zoom in. Pull it out and just start manipulating that. Let's look from the back. Okay, how big are the screws relative to that? Pretty big, but it's not that big. This is going to globally hit S and scale it, and then we'll rotate it. Well, first of all, let's, what do I want to do? Let's just rotate this like that. And I could mirror it across this. How does that look? Let me just compare the size of those to the size of these in a diagram if I can. I don't know if I can. So there they are there. Yeah, I can't get the real comparison. All right, well, let's say apply that mirror, and I'll just come in, and I'll select this piece, and I'll just rotate in the Y, this one a little bit. All right, how about that? Well, that's how I would do that piece. At least that's how I did it this time. All right, I'm going to take a quick break and think about how I'm going to put this together and what I'm going to do. I think for now, I'm just going to be doing this. I'm just going to be sliding it together, and we'll apply some materials. Yeah, this is going to be separate. Well, it's going to be the same color, actually, the same material. So I think I'm going to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But this one, I know I can put onto here. And I won't go any further until I come up with some materials, because the bulb and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I just want to take a quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll work on that. Well, unless I come up with something else that I have to model, I think the modeling part is done. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select everything. I'm going to bring back the canteens, and I'm going to move this up. Move it over here. And let's find a good vantage point, and we'll start scaling it. Let's go S.6. Nah, let's not do that one. Now let's get out of there. So maybe I'll just scale it like this. I don't know how big this thing should be, but I could go with that for now. And let's have a look there. We're obviously going to be adjusting that camera angle, so for now I won't worry about it. But what we will do is I'm just going to start taking this and using the same materials. I'm going to try the same materials for now. For now. And even this stuff is the same, right? That's the same material. I believe so, anyhow. And over here, including that. These are the materials that I had made for the canteens themselves. So, let's get there's the plane and the lights, that'll help. May have to make these materials a little bit different. Okay, cool. Let's get these. And I believe that's also that material. I was wondering if I wanted a bit shinier, and I might want to be doing that. I am going to have to make another material. I'm just going to copy this one. And I think I'll start. I'm going to call this black. And I'm going to go for, oh yeah, I better change it actually. Eh? Okay, so let's select that. Let's make this, bring that in here and bring it down. And that, maybe I have to adjust some of the, make it a little bit more metal. So I could do this in the node editor, or I can just do it here. I'll try 0.35. And for now I'm going to make that black as well. And we can see what we think of this. Okay, and this one is not black. This one is that material. Did I get those right? Okay. Now, is that reasonable for the switch? Black metal kind of. Well, this may be what I'm going for. And then I can start seeing any issues with this, like underneath there. I'll come back to that kind of stuff. Let's take this and let's actually go with the node editor. T and T. And sometimes when I'm doing these, I want to go back to the old way of doing it and just having like glossy, and that's it. I mean, maybe it needs Fresnel. Let's just see what that would look like. Try that as metal. Oh, that's mirrored, that's why. That may be too crazy. Yeah, it's going to be too crazy. So we'll adjust. We'll adjust these. Let's go and put black on there. And on this one, by the way, that clip is black, isn't it? It's like a black metal. That may help. If it took. All right. Yeah, liking it. I'm just not sure about the metal. But everything else I like. Okay, let's come into this thing. Let's make a new material. And I may be just going back to just straightforward glass for that. Let's have a look at what that would look like. Okay. Slight bluish tinge. Let's hide that and take this and make this metal. And let's hide the bulb and take this, and that's metal, right? It's that piece. Okay, we'll switch over to material so we can see what we're doing. That thing is metal. I guess that's joined to it. Okay, cool. And hide that one. Let's try just the regular glass on this. I don't think I added a solidify to this. This is just subdivision. So I'm just going to add just like default solidify. We'll try it and see if it helps us. I think I need that. It's quite blue. Voltage, bring that back. That's already got, let's see if we can even see through that. Yeah, we can a little bit. Let's try taking these guys. Let's close that up. Let's have a look from here. Okay, let's do this then. Let's side view, wireframe, box select all of this stuff here. Touch down, put it in. Okay, so maybe I'll put it over here. I might be doing more than one. Okay, we're getting up in polys, but let's just I just want to have a look from here. Okay, so let's rotate Z90 minus. And let's take one of these, bring it over here, and I'm thinking about laying it down and breaking it apart. Let's lay it down like that. Let's rotate X90 minus. Okay, let's try this. Because I had said something about doing this. And let's try this with this piece. And that piece is just one. And I can move it and rotate it. Maybe this one I want to see inside a little bit. So if I take this, I'm not sure it'll rotate well. Let's do it like this. Thought I was missing a piece. Oh, geez, now that I've rotated it. Changed my camera. All right, well, let's take a render of that and think about if we like the same canteen materials on this or not. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and render that and we'll be back. All right, I've got a couple of renders to show you. So here's the first one in with the canteens, and I think I'm just going to end the video by showing you some of the other images. That was a lot of fun to do, and if you do decide that you want to model this flashlight, I'd love to see what you come up with. All right, thanks so much for watching. Here are the renders.